You know, Nintendo is known for making kid-friendly games that are uplifting, cheerful, rated E for everyone, but most of them have some super dark themes behind them.
Like the origin of Samus is crazy.
Samus's origin is so sad. When Samus was a kid, she lived in an Earth colony on some planet out in space, and she had her parents with her. And then these visiting Chozo, a species of bird, visited the planet, and there was a nice old bird that she befriended. It was basically like a grandfather figure to her, and she thought all visiting species were going to be friendly. And that was until the space pirates invaded their planet, led by none other than Ridley.
The dragon.
Yeah, that scary dragon. But Samus wasn't scared. Samus thought Ridley was friendly. She went up to Ridley, tried to befriend him, and Ridley took advantage of that and tried to kill Samus. But then Samus's mom risked her life to save Samus, and in the process died. And in the meantime, Samus's dad risked his life to take down Ridley's flagship. And then when the dust settled, Samus was the lone survivor of her colony. And then the Chozo took her in and raised her as one of their own, where she became a warrior, and now she tries to avenge her parents' death by hunting down these space pirates in hopes of finding Ridley. It's crazy how many Nintendo games revolve around parents dying.
Star Fox?
Yeah, exactly. Fox McCloud has one of the saddest origins in all of Nintendo.
It starts with his father.
Yeah, his father, James McCloud. He was Fox's role model. He taught him everything he needed to know about life and about flying, and he was the original Star Fox. He was the head of the OG Star Fox crew, but that was until he got set up by his own wingmen.
Totally backstabbed them.
They led him straight into a trap, and the only one that made it out was Peppy Hare, James's best friend, basically an uncle to Fox. And Fox was in school for the military at the time when he found this out, and Peppy told Fox that it was James's last wish that Fox takes over the Star Fox regime and builds a new team to take on all enemies. Even though Fox had minimal training at the time, he had to make his dad proud, and he had to find the people that set up his dad's death and take him down.
Talk about stepping up.
And the craziest thing is that his dad may not be dead after all. We never actually see what happens, and there's rumors throughout the games that he could still be alive. So Fox is doing all of this in hopes that one day he'll see his dad again. Which, in reality, is the saddest part because, for all we know, he could be gone.
Don't ever give up, my son. Father?
Smash Bros. Brawl was my first introduction to Lucas, and he just seemed like a regular kid. I didn't realize how deep his lore goes. Like, he had it rough.
What happened to him?
Lucas has the all-time sad story. In Mother 3, he was just on vacation with his family, with his mom and his brother driving home, when all of a sudden, the Pigmask army attacks them, and his mother ends up dying from the attack. And Lucas is so distraught, crying over his mother's death, that he realizes his brother is missing too.
Nintendo's all about parents dying.
And worst of all, Lucas, this kid, has to save the world now because he needs to pull 7 needles to prevent this Pigmask army from releasing a dormant dragon and taking over the world. And so he goes on to collect these needles, but the last one is protected by none other than his missing brother. But his brother's been brainwashed by Porky.
Porky?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So Lucas, being the good kid that he is, he's not going to fight his brother. So his brother just beats him down. And it's not until the ghost of their mom begs Klaus, his brother, to stop, that he finally relents and he snaps out of the brainwashing. He takes off the mask and realizes what he did. And he can't handle the guilt that he kills himself with a lightning strike right then and there.
Oh my god.
So Lucas witnessed the death of his mom and the suicide of his brother. But with that death, he was able to pull the last needle and save the world. I don't know why there's so many deaths to parents in these games. But an even sadder story than that is someone that doesn't even have parents. Mewtwo's tragic origin story revolves around the fact that he got created.
Giovanni and Dr. Fuji teamed up?
Giovanni wanted to replicate Mew so that he could have the most powerful Pokemon in the world. So Dr. Fuji stepped up to the task, but he had his own thing going on, where he wanted to master the cloning process in order to bring back his daughter, make an exact clone of his daughter Amber.
While Giovanni just wanted to take over the world.
So Dr. Fuji finally found DNA of a Mew, and was able to start the cloning process. And in the chambers, he had a Mewtwo and he had an Amber 2. And while those two were in the chambers, Mewtwo was able to telepathically communicate with Amber 2. They were able to talk about all the joys of life and became friends in there. But that was until Amber 2's cloning experiment failed, and she ended up passing on. She couldn't make it. And Mewtwo freaked out. All of the levels spiked. The place looked like it was about to explode. And Dr. Fuji had to stick some memory loss serum right into Mewtwo, and he fell asleep. And when he woke up, he was fully grown with only a faint memory of losing a friend. So he was just born with anger. And that was before he found out from Dr. Fuji that he was created as part of an experiment. And then he found out that he was created just to be a weapon for Giovanni. He used his psychic powers and blew up the entire lab, killing everyone in it, including Dr. Fuji. And then he went on to use the rest of the cloned Pokemon to take out all the Pokemon in the world and the Pokemon trainers for what they did to him. That was until Ash came along and taught him the most valuable lesson, that it's not about how you were born into life, but the choices you make in life that matter.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Yeah, but the all-time saddest story was Rosalina.
Rosalina in her storybook, it doesn't get much sadder than that in Mario games.
She takes the cake.
When you finally uncover all the chapters in her storybook, you find out that Rosalina was just a normal kid on Earth. She found a Luma in a rocket ship in her backyard, and the Luma was crying out for its mom, saying that it's on a comet somewhere, but the Luma can't find her. Rosalina vowed to this Luma that she was going to help this Luma find its mom. So they took that rocket, they went to outer space, and they searched for days, and then days turned into months. Months turned into years.
They just could never find her.
They were never able to find the Luma's mom, and Rosalina flew so far away from her home that she was never able to get back, which means she never saw her dad or her siblings again, and revealed to the Luma that she also lost her mom. Only she lost her mom permanently, and so Rosalina was left without a family. But she took on the responsibility of making sure that the Lumas had one. While the Lumas could never find their mom, Rosalina took it upon herself to be that mom for those Lumas.
Made it her life's purpose.
So she raised those Lumas until they were able to blossom, go out on their own, become a planet, become a comet, become a star, while she stayed on her home comet, missing her family.
Nintendo really knows how to make the waterworks get going.
For a company based around putting smiles on kids' faces, they really know how to get dark.